Hi, everybody. It's live day. And today we're going to be talking about past lives or reincarnation. So, what are past lives really? What we're talking about here is reincarnation. Reincarnation is when the soul decides to have a new life here on Earth or another planet to have new experiences. Many people say that we come into a new life to learn something. And while that is partially true, that is not the whole story. We are here for two reasons: to be happy and to serve. Humans are one of the few species that can feel a whole range of emotions, including what we would describe as negative emotions, which are not really negative. It's just a lower energy vibration. So we come here to feel all of that and to serve. Serving is going to look different to each one of us. Some of us will be a great nurse. Some of us will serve by being a great preacher or a great stay at home dad or a psychic or a teacher or a plumber or a trash collector, which all go back to being happy. Because as long as you follow your joy and you do what you love, what makes you smile, you're serving your purpose. Along the way, we learn lessons of different kinds, including karmic lessons. Those are the lessons we must learn because of something we did in this lifetime or a prior life. Now, it's important to understand that karma is not punishment. Hi, James. um, it's not punishment. It's just cause and effect. Um, there is a reaction for every action, cause and effect, not punishment. The universe is not interested in punishing us. The universe just wants us to learn some lessons, and those some lessons can we can learn by having a good time. Lessons do not necessarily need to come through suffering. These are some things that I have learned through the years of working with different people. One, your soul is on this epic journey. You don't come to earth just once. Your soul is on this epic journey that includes many different realities, many different lifetimes, and is on this epic adventure of expansion. Your soul expands in the same way that the universe expands. And so its evolution is very much having to do with incarnating in different realities, different times, and different lifetimes. When you look at your life, the one that you're living right now, instead of thinking that your life is just this, try to expand your view and start to think of your current life as a small portion in a continuum, an infinite continuum of many points or many life that your soul comes here to experience. Two, you carry imprints from past lives. Your physical body and your mind right now carry imprints. What's known as energy imprints or memories from past life, from things that you have experienced in the past, in all of your lifetimes that you've been here on planet Earth and in other planets. What that means is that right now, your body and your mind are imprinted with wonderful things that may have happened to you in past life, and with things that you have mastered, with things that you got good at, with really positive, beautiful experiences. So that's wonderful. But the bad thing about this is that your body and your mind are also imprinted with unhealed wounds from bad things that happened to you in past lives. that you carry forward into this lifetime in the form of little imprints of energy. Okay, so unhealed wounds that can be present in your body and in your mind and in the chakras, in the subtle part of your energy field and your aura around your body. These energy imprints that are carried over from past life can really negatively affect you in the present moment. Which is why regressions are so important, because they help heal of the things that had happened to people in the past. Now, these energy imprints can be present in your energy system, your chakras, and in your aura, where you can see where they're at. But at times, they can actually manifest in the physical body in things that you can actually see. So, hey, James, you can stop me at any time if you have any questions, okay? So for example, it's common for people sometimes to have really big birthmarks that have to do with injuries that they sustain in past lives. Sometimes those big wine poured birthmarks or other birthmarks that people have in their current physical body can come from injuries and stuff that happens to them in past lives. The way that an energy imprint manifests itself in the brain a lot of times is through intrusive, repetitive thoughts that are disempowering and very negative in nature. Irrational fears are another example of energy imprint from a past life embedding in your mind. If you have an irrational fear of flying, for example, this can be associated with a past life where you either died or were severely injured in a plane crash or something like that. Another example of an energy imprint at the level of the mind can be having disempowering thoughts. For example, if you feel like you don't deserve love or that you're not good enough for love, this can come a lot of times from past trauma that you had in past lives, having to do with being abandoned by a partner or being heartbroken. Those wounds can then carry forward and form thought patterns in this lifetime that aren't actually coming from trauma from this life. Okay, they come from the past. I remember I conducted some years ago a reading for a woman that came to me, and one of her biggest concerns was with her sister. They were both elderly ladies, and her sister, although she had met throughout her life wonderful men, she was never able to have a relationship that worked, a partner that stayed with her for long periods of time. She also had acquired recently an extremely strict vegan diet to the point that she was starving herself to death. And no matter what her family or even her doctor told her, she was very compelled to follow this diet. So during the reading, it turned out that in a past life, this lady, the sister, not my sister, the lady was a very strict nun that had vows not only of celibacy, but of consuming the minimum necessary to survive. So those vows were impacting her in this lifetime. So people like me, for example, who have done this kind of work throughout many lifetimes, if you were persecuted or even burned on the stake, and you promise yourself that you will never use your powers and your gift anymore, those kinds of vows can be very hard, are very intense, are very hard to break, but it definitely can be done, especially if you recognize that you are not in that lifetime any longer and that it doesn't apply to you anymore, that you are safe now. 3, when you heal the past, you heal everything. So just because you carry these past imprints in your physical body and your mind or your energy system, it doesn't mean that you have to live with them for the rest of your life. I have witnessed absolute miracles in people's lives when they can access past memories and are able to heal them. When you access a specific memory and you send light to that memory, that's how we heal past life memory, almost instantaneously. And what happens is that you erase that wound from your timeline. When you erase these wounds from your timeline in the past, the wound is now healed from the past, the present, and the future. Once that past life wound is healed, it heals in all directions of time across all lifetimes. Pretty neat. That's why this is so powerful to do this healing work in people's lives, because your entire soul evolution can change just by a wound that you are able to heal from a past life. 4, you are not stuck here. There's some spiritual traditions on the planet that view reincarnation almost like punishment. And like I said, the universe is not interested in punishing us. Like you just keep coming here until all your karma is paid off. I don't view reincarnation like that at all. And from all the regressions that I've seen in myself and others, it's become very clear from the souls that I've connected with that the souls come here voluntarily. Okay, your soul come here on purpose, voluntarily. In fact, what I have heard from so many different souls throughout so many regressions is that actually the Earth plane is a prize reality, and that because of the incredible range of emotions and physical sensations that humans are capable of experiencing. Actually, there's a line of souls waiting to come here because there are many more souls than there are physical bodies in the planet. Earth is like this delicious reality that souls want to partake on. One of the reasons why souls love coming here is because the planet Earth is a very rare realm. It's a realm made of matter, where we have not only physical matter, but also the possibility of evolving and understanding through emotions. Okay. Emotional states are important and powerful. Feeling emotions in the physical body is very rare. And it's powerful and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful way that souls use to evolve and expand on its multi-dimensional, expansive, and evolutionary journey. I'll give you an example of what I'm saying. When you get married, for example, or you have a child, the love that you experience for that other being, you don't only think it, you feel it in your body. I remember when birthing my children, when that doctor put those babies on my chest, my heart felt like it was going to explode with emotion and love. It was a physical sensation. That emotion, that love was physical. I could feel it in my body. Just like when your heart is breaking, You also feel it in your body. When somebody breaks your heart, you feel it physically in your body. So most of other realms of existence are not like that. We do that in our planet because our 3D reality is very dense. So we have that capability. So this is not all bad. These are very, very good things about our reality. That's why our souls want to come here to experience all of that. 5, we forget past lives. When our souls decide to incarnate here on this earth plane, we have to play by certain rules of this reality. One of them is called the veil of forgetfulness. And that means that when a soul decides to take on a physical body, once the birthing process, the embodiment process starts, there are energy veils that are put in place on this physical avatar to prevent you from remembering where you came from, what has happened to you, from remembering all of your past, and even from remembering that you are this huge soul in this expansive, amazing universe. But what the veil of forgetfulness does here, it gives you sort of a clean slate, right? When you start learning new things, it feels as like you're doing them for the first time and have new experiences. The veil of forgetfulness is not permanent and it's not static, but it's important. It is there so not to overwhelm you with all the knowledge, not only from things like languages and math and technology and science and whatever, but from experiences with people. Remember that we travel in cliques, okay? We have a soul family and we'll travel together throughout lifetimes. The people that are important to you in this lifetime were probably important to you in other lifetimes. So your sister now may have been your mother in another lifetime, or your husband in another, your best friend or your boss in still another. If you could remember everything that one person did to you in all those lifetimes together, just imagine the drama. It's something that we would completely be overwhelmed by. So that's one of the biggest reasons the veil of forgetfulness is there. So the veil can start to fall, especially if you ascend your consciousness and start evolving. And that's precisely what happens when we do regressions, past life regressions. When a person gets to the point in their evolution where they are ready to do past life work, when we're doing a regression, the veil for forgetfulness is falling, and that person in an altered state of consciousness is able to access their past lives timelines. Okay, this can happen with a regression, but it can also happen naturally, like spontaneously. A lot of people have memories in dreams and just walking around. It can happen. It's not incredibly common, but it can happen like spontaneously like that. There are already examples on planet Earth of gurus and people, enlightened beings that come on planet Earth, and they already know the whole history. They know older past lives because the veil of forgetfulness was not necessary for them to incarnate. But that happens to very, 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 very few people. We are starting to see more and more and more examples of children who talk about their past lives with their parents. I've seen it all over TikTok. And in my opinion, this is part of the Great Awakening and the fact that we are, as we speak, on the new earth. But even with all these examples, for the majority of us, we are born with that veil of forgetfulness. As we evolve, that veil of forgetfulness starts to fall. And maybe pretty soon, when we come to the planet Earth in the next lifetimes, we won't need the veil of forgetfulness anymore. 6, the soul plans out every life. Your soul, before you incarnate, has this beautiful review process where it starts to design the next lifetime. And so your soul meticulously designs each lifetime before it decides to incarnate in a physical body. It decides what kind of experience it wants to have, what kind of adventures it wants to have, in what environment, and with what kind of people. But just because the soul has a plan, that doesn't mean that your life is predetermined. Okay, a lot of people ask me this. Your life is not predetermined. You don't just come here and do exactly what your soul has planned every single moment of your life. Because what happens is, because you have that veil of forgetfulness, you yourself, the human, forgets the soul's plan. Okay, and that's okay. That's fine. If you come here and your human self is super connected, super aligned to your higher self, to your soul, and you're able to follow through on everything that your whole soul has planned, wonderful. Your soul is going to be very excited and very happy. But most of the time, it don't happen like that. Because sometimes the human avatar completely forgets the soul plan, and you go off on a different path that what that soul has planned. And that's okay. Your soul doesn't get mad at you because we have free will. So instead of getting mad at you, it learns and evolves through every experience you decide to have. It is also true that the soul has have what's known as the highest timeline or preferred timeline. This is the plan that the soul has for you prior to birth. The more that you stick to this highest timeline, the more that you follow your highest plan, the happier and fulfilled your human self is going to be. And this is sometimes a sticky point. I feel a lot of us light workers have gone through so much, right? I mean, the craziest stuff. I have a very good friend who's an incredible psychic medium. She's been kidnapped like 2 or 3 times. She's been abused. I mean, everything that you can think of to happen to a human being, it has happened to this woman. Just crazy stuff. And a lot of us too has gone through times of toxicity. There's a lot of drug abuse and alcoholism, and that we go through this time in our life where everything is so dark, and then we find this path. And because we've been there in that negative space, in that dark space, we can feel an incredible gratitude of turning our life around, and then we find our path, and whoop, there we go. There we go. Right? You can relate? Yes. Oh, no. So when you find that path, even if it takes you 30 years or 40 years or 50 years, you're going to feel happier and more fulfilled. Because you're always going to feel more excitement and more fulfillment the more your human self is aligned with the soul self. When the soul plans out a lifetime, it also imbues the human self with a purpose or a mission. And that purpose is usually the most important thing the soul wants you to do. So it doesn't care if you do it at age 5 or at age 55. What the soul wants is you to find that path. So that's why I tell people, don't worry about these things. You're always going to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Just follow your joy, and everything else is going to fall into place. Follow your joy. Just follow your joy. As long as whatever you're doing it with your heart, you're serving people. It doesn't matter what it is. You're serving, and you're on the highest, path that you can be. Follow your joy. Do it from the heart. Do it with a smile, and you'll be fine. Question.
I'm mad because I came in late.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Do you have any questions?
I can hear you speak all day. It's just I think this is my calling or something to be a medium.
Hmm?
So that's why I'm like zoomed into you right now. So I'm just really just absorbing it.
Okay. So if you have any questions other than past lives, we'll take that off the live. But if you have any questions about past life and reincarnation, I'll take them.
Oh, hmm. I think you hit every spot on that.
Okay, think about it. You're gonna come up with questions. It happens all the time. And you can always put it in the chat. I encourage people to do that because if you have a question, a whole lot of other people have that same question. So they are going to, learn from my answer. I don't mind the DMs at all, but I rather you put them in the group chat so other people can benefit from that. But I don't mind the DMs at all. And especially if your question is very personal, use the DM is perfectly fine. So I hope this has been helpful and educational. If you have any questions, again, feel free to put them in the group chat. Also, if there's anything, specific thing that you all want me to discuss, let me know and I'll be happy to comply. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time for another live.
Okay.
Bye.